talk about this. This is McKinsey's new State of AI report, and it goes into how businesses are adopting all of this new tech, how we can use it and better implement it, and just shows how the big companies are using AI right now and how we can bring that to small businesses. So if you're interested in this sort of thing, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button so that you can see more of what we're doing here. My name is Austin Gailey. I've been a software developer for the past decade, and now I'm helping small businesses keep up in the AI age. So I'm showing tips and tricks on how we can level up our productivity and make sure that we can be our best selves as we build out our small businesses. Anyway, let's dive into this. Most businesses are using AI to some degree now, but they don't know how to implement it at scale or how to use it in an effective way, which means we're still in the period where most companies are trying to teach prompt engineering, how to write the right prompts to get the right responses, how to get AI to avoid hallucinations, telling people what information they can or cannot put into a public GPT model. And this is just the beginning. This is the tip of the iceberg in terms of what AI can do now, and most companies still have not caught up to the foundations, which is just the LLMs. That doesn't even touch on like MCP servers or RAG pipelines, which is where AI really becomes useful. Let's see this. So their key findings: most organizations are still in the experimentation or piloting phase. High curiosity, of course. Positive leading indicators on impact of AI. Yeah, I would say that most people believe AI is going to be big now. High performers, this is really key. I'll show you guys the graph down below, but 80% of respondents say that their company set efficiency as a growth objective of their AI initiatives, but the companies seeing the most value from AI often set growth or innovation as additional objectives. But what they're saying here, the high performers in these companies are adopting AI at 2.8 times the rate of other performers. So then redesigning workflows is a key success factor. Yeah, a lot of companies, they don't even have the structured processes to implement AI yet. So the first step is saying, okay, how do we break this down into repeatable steps that you can do for every single system or for every single client? And then you can automate all of that. There's no more like, hey, piecemeal this customer just needs this customer just needs this. No, they all get everything, because when you automate it, that's just an additional benefit for no extra cost to the company. But that requires creating those processes about how you're delivering your service. We've got differing perspectives on employment impact. Yeah, this is a really tough one, especially as AI develops, right? And robotics, because the pairing of the two is where it really gets interesting. I think we'll see more and more people be able to run their own businesses without having to hire on anyone. They'll be able to handle the lead generation, the social media posting, the service delivery, everything from like the finances. We're seeing new tools pop up left and right. And so the people that are keeping up and learning about these tools are going to be able to run without hiring another person. And so more and more people will have to get into this to keep up. An interesting thing here, 13% see percent increases in employment, which is interesting because I imagine what they're saying here is AI improves our efficiency, which will improve our bottom line, which will improve our overall profits, which means that we can grow faster, hire more people on, and we'll actually have more jobs growing for there. I'm hopeful that this is the direction that most companies discover as they become proficient in AI. Now they've got an introduction here. Let's see. This is AI usage report using generative AI. Yeah, I mean, this tracks. 2020, 2021, use of generative AI. So this is when ChatGPT really started blowing up. And then we just see it skyrocket. This is back when I first started learning about AI, and we're like, yeah, we'll never pass the tour, or it'll take 15 years before it passes the Turing test. And then we continued to do that around here, I'd say. And now we have no idea where we're going or how far this thing. most experts are now predicting we'll have AGI, which is like super intelligence, can do anything a human can do within the next couple of years. So this checks out. No more than 10% of respondents report scaling AI agents in any individual function, which means that some are. That means that there are companies out there that are scaling this fully, have figured out their processes, and are moving forward with this. I mean, close to 10% for IT, 8% for knowledge management, and growing. But what's surprising to me is not at all. This is how many businesses need to keep up right now. Because if they're not, the next couple of years are going to be really rough. Like if you're just starting your AI journey, you're already behind the 8 ball. All right, so this one's pretty cool. It shows which industries and departments are actually adopting AI right now, with bubbles for those that are having more adoption. Let's see, organizations are increasingly using AI in multiple functions. It's an interesting increase. So it's like when they start using AI, they start scaling it across all of their other functions. Yeah, here's another page showing how they're applying AI in different industries. Larger companies lead the way in scaling. Yeah, this is the challenge, is that big companies have the ability to not only spend on API costs and experiment with whatever they think could be useful, but smaller businesses don't know, they don't have the time, and they can't afford to just experiment. They need things that work right out of the gate. So we've got to make sure that these small companies are keeping up, while these big companies can throw billions at this, like $5 billion or more to just scale AI beyond pilots. That's a ridiculous amount of money. Oh, this is interesting. So respondents most often cite benefits from AI and innovation, employee and customer satisfaction, and competitive differentiation. So this is how it has affected organizational measures over the past year. Oh, this is interesting. Look at how few say that it worsened. And I imagine that's just due to poor adoption, or like picking the wrong tools and hoping that it'll fix everything. This is wild. For innovation, employee satisfaction, these companies are improving every corner of their business just by experimenting with AI and allowing their employees to use it in the best way they can. Oh man, this is so cool. Respondents most commonly report cost benefits from AI activities in software engineering, manufacturing, and IT. Yeah. I mean, the software engineering, the number of companies now that are saying they won't be hiring another junior or even mid-level software engineer is growing day by day. Like the CEO of Salesforce is saying that they will never hire another software engineer, and that 50% of their operations are currently supported by AI, and they expect that to increase over the coming years. They're becoming a pillar for how other companies are saying, okay, how do we need to rewrite everything to leverage AI in those processes and move forward from there. But this is so true. As these context windows get larger, you can put larger code bases and infrastructure into those to have the LLMs manage that software, debug things like that. And then the models are improving as well. So we're seriously seeing the commoditization of especially entry-level software engineering right now. So for example, like I know how to build websites and applications, and I did systems engineering for quite some time. But when it's time for me to create a prototype, it would not make sense for me to do that by hand anymore. If I need to go back and figure out how to scale it, then you do definitely need to use software principles still. Sure, things remain compliant. So getting all of the employee training out, doing employee onboarding, and a lot of human resource stuff is now becoming culture oriented. So how do we maintain the company culture? Which I think that's a really good use case for AI, doing pulse surveys, setting up activities based on what you get from the pulse surveys. We still may need some human intervention for inter-business conflict, because it's not just the trainings. A lot of the training that they do relates to real problems that a lot of businesses have. And I can't see AI doing an effective job yet at doing proper disciplinary action or corrective action within the businesses. So hopefully it just alleviates the annoying parts of like chasing down employees to get their security trainings done. Let's see, then we've got supply chain and inventory management, marketing, sales. Yeah, interesting. Respondents report the greatest revenue benefits from AI and marketing and sales strategy in corporate finance and product or service development. Yeah, I mean, it's getting good at taking in context for existing copy or writing styles, brand messaging, and then creating new content from that. It still needs some coaching and molding, but it's improving quite rapidly. Strategy in corporate finance. Yeah, this all checks out. This is a really interesting graph to me. High performers are more likely than others to expect their organizations to use AI for enterprise-wide transformative change. So it's the high performers that have this full understanding that, hey, in order for us to level up and keep performing at a high level, we have to adopt this. Which checks out. You've got plenty of people that want to sit around and do their job, but the high performers see the value in these new technologies and are pushing the companies to adopt them. That's really interesting. High performers set innovation and growth objectives for AI efforts in addition to efficiency goals. Yeah, I mean, that checks out. That difference isn't super significant either. This is significant. High performers are nearly 3 times as likely as others to fundamentally redesign their workflows and their deployment of AI. That means that the people who are adopting AI are actually achieving far more than their counterparts that are not adopting it. It's like, hey, I have to send an email back to every client that I contact. Why don't I do that automatically? Why don't I do an ongoing reach to them? And then I don't have to think about that manually. I only get notified when my input is necessary. I can only imagine how this is not only enabling them to do more, but it's more of what they want to do. This is great. This is where AI is really helping people. And we see the numbers on this now. Are much more likely than others to have taken AI agents to the scaling phase. Well, that's significant. That's like 4 times the rate for IT. Yeah, there's still a lot of IT professionals that don't see the value in this, or they look at the flaws more than they look at the benefit overall. Knowledge management, yeah. Wow. High performers tend to have senior leaders who demonstrate strong ownership and commitment to AI initiatives. Yeah. I mean, if any leadership is not an advocate for at least trying to figure out how AI can be integrated, it's going to be a rough ride over the coming years. Highest prevalence, organizations seeing the largest returns from AI are more likely than others to follow a range of best practices. So that tells me that if you're following best practices, you're more likely to see the largest return from AI. It seems like they're being specific with their wording, probably around correlation versus causation, but they're definitely drawing the correlation here. And I wonder if, as companies adopt best practices, that they see the higher reward here. This is an interesting sales tactic for McKinsey to try and show other enterprises that they need these sort of technologies. 1/3 of high performers spend more than 20% of their digital budgets on AI. Yeah, how about that? I mean, it's one subscription here, one subscription there, but all of a sudden you have your own executive assistant, you have an intern that costs way less than an actual employee. Oh man. I mean, that checks out. It does seem a bit high to me, but I don't know what these high performers budgets are to begin with. Expectations on AI's effect on workforce size. In the next year, they see decreases. In the past year, they've seen increases. So that's interesting. It's like moving forward, they expect significant decrease in workforce size, but what we've actually seen in the past year is an increase. This could be kind of scary because this is showing that companies that are adopting AI are able to grow more rapidly now, but the expectation is that the people implementing this AI are essentially writing themselves out of a job in the future. We'll have to see how that plays out, because this is really the foundations for what I'm trying to do. As people fall out of the corporate roles, they're going to need to pick up other brick and mortar type services, or they're going to become a fractional partner in multiple businesses, doing the parts that AI still cannot do, at least for the foreseeable future. And so how do we do that at scale and enable people to still be highly productive, leveraging AI tools on their own? Yeah, this seems accurate. I imagine we will be seeing a decrease as companies fully replace workloads with AI. Respondents having differing expectations for AI's impact on their organization. So workforce size in the year ahead. This is hopeful. Expecting decreases. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing, especially in the big tech. I think there's starting to be a lot of fear around companies that are bullish on AI getting rid of people and then just hoping for the best and letting the remaining people figure out how to integrate new solutions to make up for the lost headcount. Respondents at larger organizations are more likely than peers at smaller organizations to report AI-related hiring in the past year. Data AI scientists, data engineers. I mean, this is directly correlated with how much overhead they have to do research and development. Inaccuracy is the AI-related risk that respondents most often say their organizations have experienced and are working to mitigate. There's very clear practices to address inaccuracy within AI outputs. You can put checks in place. You can use structured output parsers in order to get the correct formats. You can build multi-agent systems that validate the work of other agents. So let's say you understand, within a certain percentage range that you'll get the right output from an LLM. You then pass that to a quality checker that says, hey, this did or did not hallucinate, or this is the sort of output I'm expecting. And you can use a structured output parser to make sure that the object format is correct. So then the LLM can't even output something that doesn't at least have the correct format. So when you have several layers of that, the probability of having incorrect data significantly decreases. But that takes some practice to understand how to write those prompts and do those checks and all of that. That's it. This is exciting stuff. I'm really glad that we have companies that are doing this sort of research, because it's really enlightening the rest of the world to see where we're going and how other companies are adopting this, and the importance for smaller companies that don't have access to large amounts of research to integrate these tools in an effective and efficient way. If you're curious about learning more about how your business can be integrating AI or the solutions that can help you level up, go ahead and reach out. We've got a link down below to contact us, and we'll be happy to give you a free AI consulting audit of your company, and then we'll figure out how to build workflows and automations to get your company moving smoothly and efficiently. Until next time.